Hi, in this video, we are going to learn parent to child relationship SOQL. And that is too far standard to standard. Standard to standard in the sense parent will be the standard object and child also will be the standard object. As we discussed in the previous presentation itself, a relationship queries always helps us to fetch information from more than one object, right? So normally, if you look at this particular example, we have a parent object called account and we have a child object called contact, right? So this is the parent and this is the child. So the relationship circle will help us to get information from both the objects. So the circle which is written inside these square brackets, right? If you look at here, there is a circle written inside these square brackets. This is generally called as a subquery. This is generally called as subquery. So subquery will help us to fetch information from child objects. Okay. For example, here it is a contact. So the subquery will help us to fetch information from the contact records. So in a single list, we will have the output of contact as well as the account also. So when you look at the relationship, always a parent and child will be having one to many, right? Most of the times we having one to many. This is an account and this is the contact, right? If you consider this, a single account may have more than one contact information or more than one contact record associated with it, right? Okay, if that is the case, parent to child relationship circle will be a very useful one to get information along with the parent and child. So next question is it possible to apply filters in the relationship circle? The answer is yes. For example, you are seeing a snippet here. This particular snippet is trying to fetch information from account record whose rating is hot. For all the account records whose rating is hot, the circle will fetch those information along with its relevant contacts. For example, there is an account record called A1. A1 has two contacts, C1 and C2. And there is a account called A2 and it has a contact called C3 and C4. Now this A2's rating is cold and A1 rating is hot. In that scenario, what will happen to this SOQL when you execute this SOQL? The SOQL will fetch only the account record of A1 because that's the rating is hot, right? Along with the account records, without any criteria, it will fetch all the contact records under that account. So the outcome will be A1 along with C1 and C2. It will not query A2 because there is a filter in place. Similarly, you can apply filters for your subquery also, right? That is to fetch the child records also, you can apply the the criteria. For example, if you look at this particular snippet, we are querying the account records whose rating is hot. And in the brackets, we are mentioning a subquery. Subquery means we are trying to fetch the contact records. And the condition is phone number not equal to null. So it will fetch account records whose rating is hot along with the contact records of that account, provided the contact's phone number should not be null. If you have three child records, C1, C2, C3, one has a phone number and remaining two records don't have any phone numbers. If that is the case, the outcome will be an account record along with only one child record, that is C1, because it has a phone number. Other two records it does not have a phone number. So these records will not be retrieved. So similarly, you can apply, so in this way, you can apply basically the filters, both the, parent object as well as you can apply the filters for the child, records also when you are applying a subquery. Okay. And here comes the level, right? So generally, maximum two levels are supported. For example, you can query account along with contact. Account is one level, contact is level two. For example, this is level one. And if you consider this, this is a level two. So in relationship circle, parent to child relationship circle, you can query maximum two levels only, level one and level two. For example, if I'm trying to write a relationship circle, parent to child relationship circle like this. For example, account, along with it contacts, and all the contacts who has task, right? So task is a child for contact, and contact is the child for account. This is a three level, right? So level one, level two, and level three. If you're trying to write a soccer like like this, and if you're trying to execute or save, immediately you will get an error message in Apex saying that one level away from the root entity object, you can have more than one level, right? So only two levels are allowed. More than two levels is not allowed in Apex, to make it very simple. But up to five levels are allowed if the same parent relationship socket is executed in the query editor. In developer console, we will be having the query editor, right? Using the query editor, if you are going to query, then five levels is allowed. Similarly, through workbench, if you are going to make a rest or soap call, then five levels is allowed. So this is allowed. Okay, three levels. This is allowed in query editor as well as in workbench, but in Apex only two levels are allowed. So this is what all about the parent to child relationship query in the standard objects. And now it's time to have a hands-on in Apex, how to create a relationship circle, how to fetch the parent record information, how to fetch the child records information. To do that, let's quickly jump to our developer org. And this is my developer org, and I have a developer console open. I'm going to create a simple class. I'm going to create a simple class, and I'm going to keep it as a relationship circle, relationship demo, right? It is a parent to child. Let me keep it like this: P2C standard. I'm going to keep it as P2C, parent to child standard. Okay, I'm going to give it as P2C standard. Okay, let me give the class name like this. So basically, it is a relationship circle, right? Basically, it is a parent to child or relationship, right? Parent to child relationship. This is what we are trying to practice now. Okay, fine. Let me try to, have a method here. Public static void, and it's going to be a get account with contacts. Okay, fine. Let me give a name like this. Okay, fine. Now class is ready. The function is ready. What is the requirement? The requirement says that we need to query. Okay, we have to query account along with contact. This is the requirement, right? So similarly, if that is the requirement, then definitely we will be writing the sockles like this. So now select a name. I want to fetch the account name, and then immediately I wanted to fetch the contacts also. So I have to put a comma, and then I have to put the subquery. The subquery will be always coming inside a open bracket and close bracket. In the subquery, I'm going to query only the last name from the contacts. Last name from contacts. Here comes the confusion, whether I need to give you a contact or I need to give you a contacts. Answer to this is, when you're writing a parent to child relationship, if you have a confusion like this, go to the object manager and try to search for your child object. We are using contact as a child. Go for contact, identify the relationship field to parent. The relationship field is account name, right? Click in the label. It will take you to the next screen. There you can find a property called child relationship name, right? Now, if you come here, let it open. Now see, there is a field called child relationship name, right? So this child relationship name will help you to query or to refer the child object from the parent to child relationship query. Here it is mentioned in plural, right? Contacts. That's the reason in the subquery, I'm going to mention it as contacts. Okay. So the standard naming convention is plural, but you can double check that, right? If it is a custom object, you may have a confusion, right? You can double check that. And then you need to query from account also. Account will be a singular. There will not be any plural, right? So this is a high care you should take when you are writing a parent-child relationship query. Okay, fine. I have written the SOQL. What will be the return type? Return type will be a simple a list. Return type will be always going to be a list of account. Okay, so you need to create a list for account. Okay, fine. I'm going to declare it as account list. Okay, now it's fine. So even though if you are going to query account along with its contact, the return records or the return type will be a list of account. It will be a list of account, not list of contact. Inside that account, you will have another list. Let me draw, in a better way. For example, this is a list, okay? List of account. Inside the account, you have a name, right? Name from the account record and another list. This list will have information from contacts. This list will have information from contacts. So the return type will be always going to be the parent object. So what is the parent object? Account. So it will be a list of account. Inside that, we will have another list. Now what we are going to do here is I'm going to debug account records name as well as the contact last name also. So I need to loop through the collection, right? What is the collection? Collection is going to be account list. Each account list, records are considered as an account record. So I'm going to consider this account and a record. And let me do like this. It is going to be account record. Let me give you a name like this, naming convention. Account record. And I'm traversing basically the account list, right? So basically what I'm trying to do here is I'm traversing the account list. Okay, fine. Each account record, I need to display the account name also. So first, let's do that. For example, I'm going to do like this system.debug and account name, right? So let me put like this account name and it's going to be account record dot, it's going to be name, right? Account record dot name. And now I need to display the contact name also. So as I said earlier, inside the account list, you will have another list for contacts. So each and every row will consist of one list for contact. So to loop that, I need to do another for loop, right? And what is the collection I'm going to traverse? I'm going to traverse from the each account record. Each account record definitely will have a collection, right? So each account record will be having a collection. So that collection will be account record dot contacts. So how to refer the child objects? You need to refer as contacts, because if you look at the from class, in the from class you have mentioned as contacts. So if you want to access the child objects, then child object records, then you need to refer in the same way. If it is a plural, then use plural. If it is not plural, then don't use it. So just copy this and paste it here. This will save, right? Okay. So now we are trying to traverse a list of contacts. So I'm going to use contact record, right? I'm going to use a naming convention like this, contact record. Okay. So we are using two for loops. People will say that using two for loops is not good. Yes, but in this case, you cannot avoid this because you are going to traverse each contact records and you wanted to display one by one the last name, right? So what you wanted to print? I wanted to print all the contacts last name. So simply I'm going to use contact record dot last name, right? Okay, fine. That's it. So now I have completed a parent to child relationship SOQL. I'm able to fetch account along with its contact. I stored it in a list. Now I'm traversing the list and I'm printing the account name as well as all the related contacts. So to execute this, we need to, call this function from anonymous window. So for example, since it is a static function, you can call like this, right? Class name dot, and then you can call the function name. That is the method name. And I'm going to call like this. Okay, fine. Let me copy this and straight away go to the anonymous window, delete the old code, and simply I'm going to call like this. Let me try to execute. The expectation is it should return all the account records from my org along with its contact information, right? Now you see account name innovative solution and it has two child contacts. Ages skill dev, no child. Yes, in account name, skill, no child, right? So if there is no contact records exist, then this for loop will not get executed, right? So what I'm going to do here is, I'm just going to highlight it and I'm going to explain. Okay, so basically the first for loop will help you traverse through the account record. So if it is taking the first account record, it is printing the account record name here. Okay, fine. Suppose if the account record does not have any child, then the inner for loop, that is line number 16 to line number 19, will not get executed, right? Because there is no child record involved. The contact list is empty. Then it will go to top of the loop. It will take the second account record and it will come inside. This is the way it will, try to execute. Let me try to apply a filter here. What I'm going to do here is, now I'm going to query a particular account record. For example, where name is equal to, let's query for edge communication. Edge communication. This is the account record I'm trying to fetch. So obviously account record will be a single record, right? Edge communication. If you have more than one contacts, all the contacts will be stored in the contacts list. Now let me try to execute the same snippet. And let's see what the outcome we have in the debug. So if you look at, there is no records exist because the filter may not be matches, right? It's edge communications, I guess. So that's why there is no debug log, because there is no record called edge communication. So the account list itself is empty. So the for loop will not get executed. Now let's try to execute this same. I have changed the account name as edge communications. Right now, let's see. Now, if you look at here, the account name is Edge Communications. Yes, your record exists. So you're seeing it. Under that, you are able to see all the contacts also. Let's confirm this. Let me go to account record and try to open Edge Communication. Let's, test Edge Communication. Let's search for Edge Communication since I have so many account records for testing purposes. Let's go for Edge Communications. Under the edge communications, if you have a look at it, we have 4 contacts records. Those 4 contact records is available in the debug log also, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this way, we can write a parent to child relationship query with filters also to fetch all the informations from parent record and child record. Now we have implemented this for standard object to standard object. Parent is also standard object. Child is also standard object. In the next video, we'll be explaining parent to child SOQL with parent as a standard object and child as custom object.
If you are interested to learn Salesforce, visit AJ Skill Development website. There you can find our course curriculum and you can come to know about the list of courses we are offering. We are offering Salesforce Administrator and Salesforce Development courses. To know about us and the team, you can visit our About Us section. This is an organization we are doing Salesforce training from 2018 and we have trained and guided 2000 plus candidates so far. And if you also want to know about our placement assistance, visit our placement assistance section where you can find the list of people and the category. You can see the list of people who got trained and placed from our side. You can also visit their LinkedIn pages to get to know about our training and also the feedback from the relevant trainees. Okay. And also, if you want to do the course inquiry, click on contact us. You will see the form. You can fill the form and submit the inquiry. Our team will get back to us. Thank you.